just because you're such especially as an adult, we got our routines and you like to just listen to things and we really kind of don't want no inconvenience on how we kind of already go about our normal everyday thing. So I do appreciate that. And I get it. And again, for people who are new here, because I know I got like a comment in the shade room that's going viral right now. And then it's a bunch of like, it's real quick. To all the white people who will come into the comment section or will come in and watch and listen because of however you feel about whatever your favorite spot. I'm going to try. I told y'all last week I was going to do very low minimum of even mentioning this young lady name, just period, for the rest of the season, unless she do something outrageous. And I kind of outrage 3 points is actually outrageous. I literally could just go absolutely crazy, but I'm gonna take a second and we're gonna get to it. But my thing is, when y'all use the word thug, just free game to y'all. One, this podcast, the name of it is Vulture Podcast. The B is I took away the C because it's Black culture. So nothing, you sit here coming in my comments and like, oh, she's nothing but a thug. Thug is not a bad word to me. My favorite album of all time is Young Jeezy Thug Motivation 101. You should probably search the free Young Thug hashtag. One of the biggest rappers of the last generation, of the last 10 years, his name got thug in it. So when white people use the word thug, I think sometimes they be thinking it's like a slur or it's a slang that's hurting somebody. Bro, nobody don't care. Tupac had thug life across his stomach. Like I'd be, and I understand why you're trying to use the word. Like you're trying to use it to feel like you're replacing nigga. But it don't slap. Thug don't not slap. Thug saying calling, oh, she's just a thug. Who cares, dog? Literally, Jeezy got a classic album series. Thug Motivation 1 and 2. Tupac got thug life. So the next time when you get somebody commenting and you feel like you letting off the word thug fly and it's hurting some, it's not doing nothing, dog. Nobody cares. It absolutely makes no difference. And just for a lot of the dudes who just like sometimes you'll get in a comment like, and I'm gonna play this clip in a minute, and because of course, like I said with the shade room comment, it was over the Monica McNutt and Stephen A. Smith's thing, and she told Stephen A. respectfully, Stephen A., you could have been talking about WNBA women's basketball 3 years ago. Because Stephen A. was trying to get, let's be clear, Stephen A. do give a lot of Black women, especially women who played in the W, or like the 3 girls that they call the big 3. And for speaking on basketball, I forgot all 3 of their names, but all 3 of them, he be giving them, he had bring them on first take a lot. I get what in his mind what he thinking he doing, but like she said, you waited until it was already popular to talk about it. And I seen people in the comment section, so how you thought she smoked him by saying that? I'm like, bro, me personally, just a little small backstory on who I am for new people here. No, I don't wait for trends. I set them. When I am from the DMV, you can go Google and you sit here and see like New Balances. That's a thing. That is a DMV people will argue you about, especially DC, Maryland, DC and Prince George's County, and some of VA will argue about the New Balance thing. New Balance just start putting colors in this stuff for years, decades, probably 75% of my life. They only put gray in it. I know we talked about it last week, but like I said, the sound was messed up. Dog, I sit here, when we have shoes to match those shoes at the time, I still sit here and make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of selling pink and lime green t-shirts. If you think that I'm going to ever wait for somebody else to make something cool, you're absolutely out your mind. That type of behavior is corny to me, bro. I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to wait to talk about stuff when it's cool. Bro, I've been talking about this. I've literally been talking about Angel Reese for the last 2 years. We talking about Angel Reese. We're not even talking about, dog. I end up even getting hip to South Carolina because Dawn Staley, the way she dressed, it had nothing to do with basketball. And I'm Black. And I think sometimes for Black people, we got to be honest about certain things I like. So from now on, when I talk about the WNBA women, which women I'm going to tell you how good she looked, how fire that fit was, because I'm just going to keep it a buck. Because I think some of y'all be getting like delusional as hell. I'm never going to like Caitlin Clark. You know why? Because I would never in my life have sex with a woman that looked like that. Bro, let's keep it a buck. The WNBA ain't as entertaining as the NBA. Of course not. You know why? Because I was born in the 90s. I want to see niggas get dunked on and get their nuts put in a nigga face. That's why we like Anthony Edwards. I don't want to see nobody pull up and shoot threes. That shit is for you soft ass niggas who raise y'all kids and all y'all kids look like Steph Curry. I talked about that before. I'm not one of y'all weird ass niggas. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that. So that's never going to be on my resume to be like, oh, she's the nigga. You are soft. If you watch that fucking style of basketball and you think that's tight, you're soft as cotton balls. And you probably think Steph Curry is good. Guess what? I don't. I've been on this platform, on all my platforms, and been told I think Steph Curry is overrated and he's dog shit. So if you think I'm going to start with Caitlin Clark and sit here and be like, oh my gosh, it's not going to happen, dog. Never in life. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that. This ain't gonna be the episode for you. This ain't gonna never be the show for you. I'm never ringing like that. I literally grew up on basketball, watching Penny Hardaway put Patrick Ewing on a goddamn poster. My father's a diehard Patrick Ewing fan. I love Penny Hardaway. When he stuffed that nigga through a poster, come on, dog. What is wrong with y'all? I mean, y'all niggas are soft and whores. And when you hear these conversations, when I hear Stephen A. and I hear Shannon Sharpe, I'll be just like, sometimes I gotta be like, yeah, you cool for sports. But then it's like, when we talk about the WNBA, I gotta make like, what do I think you get pussy? I don't think you get pussy. And I think that's why you talk like the way you talk so highly about Caitlin Clark, because that's the only way. Niggas, no way. The Connecticut son, the lady, I believe I know I'm trying to screw her name up a little bit. It's like Dejanay Carlton. For niggas who know, you know, dog, she is ridiculously fire. Y'all niggas like, I'll be like, damn, what you? So y'all niggas see, because you play in the WNBA, y'all niggas dick don't get hard no more. Pause, no Diddy. What is wrong with y'all? What are we talking about? These women still be fire. And the WNBA is they realizing, oh, some of these women are actually beautiful. And then the more we let them sell the sex appeal, it's going to just be, niggas got to be keeping it a buck. Sometimes it's okay to just be horny. And that's the only thing that's the only thing I wish Angel Reese would have never, I understand why she said it, because they made an AI video of her, but let them people sexualize you, because that sex sells, dog. And that's the sad truth, but it just is what it is. And a lot of them women in the WNBA are beautiful as hell. And y'all niggas keep acting like, man, stop, dog. I'm sorry. It just be certain things I'm never going to be able to relate to. It's never going to fly for me. I can't do it. And real quick, but again, before I start even playing the clips, I'm not going to see the Chicago Sky to play the Mystics, because until they start passing Angel Reese the ball, if they pass her the ball crazy against the Liberty this week, then I still may go to the game. But I'm not going to watch nobody else. And I swear to God, I had another jump. I'm not gonna lie. This was my week. I was rocking and rolling in the comment section. But even on the Chicago Sky jump, bro, I was literally like, when they was mad that Angel Reese didn't want to sit here and do the interview. I'm like, bro, interview the two, Marina Mayberry and Dana Evans. They was the ones who was jacking up the ball. And literally I was having an argument with my younger brother. And ladies, I'm sorry, we just gonna have to rock and roll with this. The WNBA is this popular at this point. If you feel like this is a sports conversation, you missing it just as well. So I was telling my younger brother right before the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, I'm like, bro, I literally bet, and shout outs to Lizzo, because he made a video talking about, like, bro, I don't want to keep sitting here gambling on these women because I'm calling them out their name when I'm watching the game and my parlay's not hitting. That's another, let's be clear, that's a whole nother beast and monster. And that's why, if you really actually a gambler, it's just a lot of lifestyle preferences if you actually live in how the average, and that's one of the reasons why I would never even just like, you got to still be attached to what's going on in the real world and how other people are. And that's why I told you, I like to watch the comments. I like to listen to and see how other people's thought pattern is. Though it's endless dudes who feel the same way. And you get pissed. Niggas not betting. I'm not sitting here. If you bet on the game, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I'm about to bet with Marina Mayberry and Dana Evans. Nigga, no, we know Angel Reese, so that's who we going to bet on. So you not passing her the ball. And I tell my younger brother, I'm like, but before the game started, I was like, bro, I really don't even care about this game because I know what's about to happen. I told him exactly what was going to happen in that game before it happened, because I watched the game before with the Sparks. The WNBA was hyping it up. Oh, Cameron Brinks versus Angel Reese. Because these are the bigger names and these are the most popular people on these teams. Guess what happened? Cameron Brinks had a horrible game. Angel Reese had a horrible game. And a horrible game is kind of like in quotations, because we talking about people taking 8 shots and 9 shots. Bro, that's not a horrible game. Nigga, you just think about, let's take it out of the WNBA. If you was to watch a Lakers game and LeBron James only took 9 shots through the whole entire game, do you know how you would absolutely lose your mind? Especially if you was gambling. And they allow, you got to think about it, and let's be, FanDuel got hip, because FanDuel raised Angel Reese Jones up, because at first it was at 10. And you know how easy it was? You was the first game I bet on, I'm like 10. Oh, that's sweet money. So that's the difference with, and that's why, like I said, I pay attention to all things. And I think that's why you got to have, like, even for ESPN, I think they're going to learn. I mean, I don't know, because some people, you just be stuck in your ways. But I think one of these learning curves is just like, you're going to have to find newer voices. And I don't think, especially when it comes to the WNBA, because I'm somebody who I told you, I pay attention and I study. And that was one of the reasons why I got so upset last week, because I was like, dang, that we had such a good conversation about the WNBA. And I was just like, because they're realistically, when you're looking for content, because I'm somebody, I want to hear other people, especially women who already been doing it. But even when they talk about, like what I told you about the Cheryl Swoops jump, it's still too nice. It's not authentic enough for me, because it's like, because you probably know these girls, and of course, Cheryl Swoop still go to a lot of games or whatever the case may be. Ex-teammates, maybe coaching some of the teams. So she is still talk about the sport with kid gloves. And for me, I want the raw, authentic conversation. I want to hear who is trash, who tight, who this, that, and the third. Like, call it out. Everybody, it's just like all the conversations.
I don't think you're gonna get that.
But that to me, and that you need it though. That's the only way.
How long it took the NBA for that? You didn't get that straight out for the NBA. They just started doing that recently. In the last couple of maybe 10 years, they started, voicing their opinion about players and saying how players are. You're not going to get that right now, especially with they're trying to get people to watch it. So you're not going to get people in there just talking, you're not going to get the Skip Bayless or, what I'm saying? You're not going to get that type of commentation.
But I think, which is just to me, for somebody who create content, I see that as a space. You kind of better go that way direct. You got to, if you creating content, and that's again what I'm talking about, not waiting 3 years to talk about something. If you see a open space, you should take the open space while you still see it, because if you wait too late, then it's gonna be like, all right, well, somebody you gonna wait for Skip Bayless to already do it and him to turn it around.
It's an open space, but it's still also you gotta think about how would they take it. You see how even some of the NBA players how they take when people talk about them and criticize their game or even say, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like just you as a society, how would you really take it? People.
But I think that's, but if you listen to a lot of them, and even when I play this clip of Angel Reese, you see, I think a lot of them prefer for you to talk like that about the sport in general instead of talking about it like how they talking about it with Caitlin Clark. It's so kid glove friendly. It's like, oh, let's coddle her and this, that, and the third. And then I even, like I said, and the sad thing is, you see a lot of, especially for a lot of black men, you see a lot. I was like, and I think, like I said, after a while, sometimes I kind of realize, like, just because everybody black, it's a lot of, like, we watched it with the Diddy situation. It's a lot of people to turn a blind eye to money. And even when they talk, and it's just like, and you see a lot, and because like I said, I follow on Twitter, I'm heavy on the WNBA community on Threads, and you see a lot of black women get so frustrated when it comes to how they feel like there's no black men defending them. There ain't no real black voice where it's like, oh, who's the black man that's taking up, like, why wasn't it an uproar about Angel Reese getting chokeslammed? But you sit here talking about like, bro, that little shove that girl did. Like, what are we talking about, dog? And that was the crazy thing for people who were like, dang, we literally just seen a girl. Literally, she hit me. She was like, hold on, time out. Am I tripping? She was like, I seen what happened to Angel Reese. Like, she don't watch basketball, but she was just like, of course, because as Angel Reese is get picked up on the shade room. So the girl was like, I seen Angel Reese get chokeslammed last week, and nobody didn't care. It came and it went, and then everybody loses his mind about this girl getting a shove. So again, so that's even the sad thing. Even when, and this is the crazy thing, even about ESPN, and even with the whole Stephen A. Smith thing, it was like, oh, that girl literally scored 3 points last night. Why y'all not talking about that? That the other game you talking about, I get it, because of course you may have skipped the big conversation, and let's be clear, Monica McNutt, she smoked Stephen A. I'm talking about smoked him out the room. Like, I have never seen Stephen A. get, because that whole thing is, dog, especially when you got a big platform. And that's what the crazy thing is, like, when I tell y'all all the time.
Be careful what you say.
No, it's not about you gotta be careful what you say. You gotta use your platform for good, and you can't just wait.
But I don't even necessarily wait, because I mean, where she hit him at, it's a true factor, but we also gotta know nobody's coming to tune into your show to watch you talk about the
But guess what? It don't matter. You gotta make people guess what, because guess what? Imagine, listen to what you're saying. For 9 times out of 10, if you've been listening to this podcast for the last couple of years, you knew for a fact that I was going to talk about this. When people, guess what? And this is the cool thing I love about just building the community and just be able to continuously talk about what you like. No, when it be like girls be in a lady, let's say Lady London. Girls being like, I knew you was going to be in these comments, because most people, I put them on the Lady London. I didn't have to. She's not mainstream, dog. I didn't even have to go as hard for Angel Reese as I've been going for the last, whatever, or even Asia Wilson. None of these, dog, it doesn't matter, because when it catch up, then you look like a genius, and then your audience be like, oh, my dude been talking about this. You can sit here and be like, that's just like, think about it, we never would have started wearing colors. Oh, I was just going to wait for everybody else. Then you would never, what would have separated you? That's the still, when you talk about podcasting, you talk about talking, you have to be able to identify and build from an audience and separate yourself from everybody else.
But that's why I say in the sports world, when you're talking about something like an ESPN and what they cover, how many times do you hear them talking about stories is not about the big names? But that's just like, if you take the Ja Morant, how much they was talking about Ja Morant, how we didn't really talk about him that much, and then how all of a sudden now Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA.
No, I get what you're saying.
You can't just like I need to talk about. You can't talk about everybody. It's a pinpoint. You have your market points, and it's not like you can talk about everything. It's not that open of a.
But I get what you're saying though. But then that goes back to even when we talking about with Jalen Rose and all them other players. Then that's when you kind of get behind the 8 ball, because it's like. Now because people going to look for that, just like perfect example, like what I say, I'm somebody, okay, I spent my money on the league pass, so I want to watch, I'm watching the games, and I want to hear feedback. I want to sit here and like, okay, then maybe did I miss something? No, I didn't get to watch all the games, because that's one thing the WNBA do a horrible job at, because you got too many games coming on at one time, especially on the league pass. Like yesterday, like 3 games came on at like 7 p.m. But I can't sit here and say, yeah, of course you could be like, oh yeah, every jump not gonna get the same jump. But like I said, even the girl that play for Connecticut, I know for a fact if I talk about her, it's not going to do the same numbers as Angel Reese. But I don't want to see him be the corny person and be like, I'm about to be Skip Bayless, and I'm just gonna build my conversation. And all you talking about is LeBron James all day long. Like, no, and that to me even I just get bored with stuff fast, and it get corny to me fast. So it's just like, if you're gonna sit here and talk about something, dog, talk about it. And if you feel firm in, like, I'm an influencer, that's when people use the word influencer, you're supposed to influence other people to do what you want them to do. You're not supposed to wait for the audience to sit here and say, oh, this is cool, now I can talk about it. Like, think about Bia. Shout outs to Leak. We've been talking about Bia. I remember the first time we talked about Bia, Leak DM, he's like, bro, I swear to God, nobody never talked about Bia. She's so slept on. We're going to talk about the Bia versus Cardi B, but we've been talking about that. I'm not waiting for other people to tell me what's cool to talk about, nigga. I'm going to determine what's cool. And then you will catch on and be like, oh, this nigga been talking about this. But if you wait for everybody else, then you're going to be just like, I can go listen. And I think that's, again, and that's one of the, I guess, the points that I kind of wanted to make when I was sitting here saying like people was getting frustrated about it not being on the Apple Podcast jump. You get to realistically, you see that, like, I know that's for a fact why it's so hard for people to grow podcasts, because adults are so, like, let's use like Joe Budden, like so many people, I'm so already just, I've been listening to him. This is already who I'm going to listen to. I kind of don't want to hear no music opinions from nobody else. It's just going to be him. And you may be missing out on a lot of other music conversations and other podcasts because you're just so already set in your ways. You already just used to doing things just one way. I don't really feel, I don't got time to go look for something new. I don't want to sit here and waste my time checking to see something new. And that was when I was talking to Lizzo about it. I'm like, that's the only thing I don't like about the podcast app, because it doesn't, like, new people can't find you. If nobody else don't send it to them, or they don't come across your page, they never going to find you. You're going to kind of be all, you just literally, your audience can be where on YouTube, it's like, okay, just random people can find you. So you can sit here and see videos and be like, dang, this y'all doing numbers. I'm talking about the WNBA. Oh, I can see it can sit here and do numbers. And that's why I like,
I still think it's just it's the convenience, because even like with me, I just felt like me having to open up the YouTube, then go to this, and then have to have my screen open for me to listen to the whole podcast instead of just listening to on Spotify or the Apple product where it just play and I don't have to keep opening. You know what I'm saying?
Keeping that, yeah, for sure.
It's a thing, because I'm listening to. I can't look at it.
I
want to listen to. I don't want to look at it.
Of course, but just what I'm still saying is that's just an adult nature. So I think we are all, and I think that's why sometimes we're realistic. I'm just probably even speaking to other podcasters and creators. You can't get discouraged because your audience may not grow. You just got to find a different way to allow your audience to grow. And just for me,
if you ain't figured it out this week, I was gonna make my own account and just upload them, because like that YouTube I can't do.
Yeah, so but I mean, like I said, but that's why I say it's just it's a live, and you got to live and you learn. You live and you learn, but you get to see how people, you get to pay attention to people's I guess behaviors. And that's the bigger point. What I'm really saying is you get to actually learn from other people's behaviors and tendencies. And that kind of just gave me a realistic, oh, this is why a lot of podcasters peak out at a certain time, because if people just so convenient with just the app, it's like, how do you actually grow? Because you realistically can't, because some people, a large group of people could be like, oh, I like it, but other people may not be hip. But again, I guess my only thing is, I'm just not one of those people who gonna wait for other people to tell me what's cool. If you feel like but this is like the thing about, we talk about the power, we talk about the shot. I complain about that all the time when I listen to the Breakfast Club or I listen to Joe Budden or any of these people. They don't talk about these shows. This is stuff that I like. I'm black. It's mad black stuff that I like that people just like mainstream America don't talk about. And that's why when I listen to Shannon Sharpe talk about it and I hear Stephen A, and then I kind of be like, well, these two niggas, I don't even know if they even get pussy. So how do I think for them to kind of, and just for even a backstory for me, for people who just be like, oh, whatever the case may be, bro, I sold hair for maybe like 5 years, like literally was probably selling like maybe like 300 bundles a week. You do the math on that, bro. I'm very familiar with how to sell product to women. I understand women probably extremely at a ridiculous rate from other dudes. And that's another reason why I just don't even, and that's why I take it, like, to me, I feel like it would be, when I always talk about the relationship, that's a cheap code. But another thing when we talk about just podcasting, I'd be happy with, like, I look at just the landscape, let's just say from just DMV podcasts, whoever y'all listen to. When you see certain topics, y'all don't even care about their opinion because they don't ever even fucking talk about it. I'd be happy that I sit here and say, I can stand firm on it. I didn't fall behind that little thing, because I'm telling you, it looked cool on Instagram, but it do not translate off of the gram. And people they not looking for it, because it's, again, like I said, if y'all got to figure it out on your own. But I pay attention to y'all. I pay attention to the landscape. I understand where it's a huge a audience that is just left wide open. I ain't leaving it open. I'm sorry, dog. And I'm not waiting for other niggas to sit here and say, oh, it's cool to talk about this.
I think it's just how you got the visual. I think it's more so when you put the visual out there that attract more people. Yeah,
but do it or don't it, because the visual for Instagram is cool, but if it don't translate off of Instagram, doesn't matter.
I think it still do matter though. Because like you said, with the YouTube, you can get different views. So if I'm putting more visuals out there, then people just, I saw this clip, I'm gonna just let me go check them out. A lot of times, like I said, you discover stuff just because you saw the clip or you saw something, getting posted. It ain't just because you just browsed on your.
Oh yeah, no. But let's be clear. I do agree with you on that one, and I do think even just originally for me, sometimes, and I get it, and I think I can even talk about that later when we talk about Bobby Shmurda. Sometimes you get in your way where you get so comfortable, you feel like man, I'm just raw. I'm raw at what I do. I'm just great at what I do. People gonna find me. That's not true. You're gonna have to extremely promote yourself, and you're gonna have to find out a way to curve a different lane for yourself. But I've seen so many people, and again, I apologize for earlier just getting so hyped up because I just been hyped to talk about this conversation because you see so many people just be like, it's sad to me how I watch just so many black men. And again, that's why one of the reasons why I always tell women, like, bro, you got to stop. We have, as a community, we got to call it the same way when we talk about dudes and we be like, we got to call the girls out who be supporting the Sukianas and all this. Ladies, you got to call out. If you're dealing with a dude and you see him just like, oh my God, I'm like, Caitlin Clark is better than everybody, bro. When that girl said, when she told, the crazy thing is how God worked. When that girl literally said here and said, she tweeted out and said, what else can she do besides shoot threes? And that's the difference when somebody sit here and say that Kayla Clark better than Angel Reese. Angel Reese don't have to score a bucket and she's still going to impact the game. That's why when I'm talking about, and that's what the crazy thing is, even like when I'm talking about, and I get it, sometimes we brothers, so we can pick anything and we can just argue about it. But the teams that you like, she would never play on none of them teams. That ain't the type of teams you even like. Them ain't even the type of players you like. So that's why I be kind of like, I'll be like, sometimes I get it in the heat of the argument.
But what else is it? There's no team out there that's like that. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You're saying that the shooting 3-pointers, that's all they can do, but it's still, that's part of the game now.
No, I get it's a part of the game, but realistically, nobody, if you wouldn't like, bro, you ain't sitting here like, oh, I like Tyler Hero over Jimmy Butler. Or I like Tyler Hero over Bam Adebayo. No, because realistically, because you know Tyler Hero is a defensive liability.
But that still don't. If he's scoring like how they're scoring, then I wouldn't have to say that.
Okay, no, I got a better question for you. As a basketball player, would you feel?
This is like Gabe Vincent and the ones that Max Strus, like how they played on Miami, what they did, and do you see them on opposite team is not the same.
Oh no, of course. I mean, but the crazy thing is we had that same conversation about players who used to play with LeBron all the time, and it's just one of those things. Like I was having a conversation. We was having a conversation in the comments, and of course it was one of the listeners, and he was like, "Yeah, I know you an Angel Reese guy. That's your, but they're trying to turn her into a role player." And he was like, "She is a role player." I'm like, "Bro, there's no listen to you." And I know the WNBA ain't okay with the way that the Chicago Sky playing. I'm sure I get it because it's the season still early. I'm 100% positive that if I'm a Chicago, and we talk about just business, because we talk about this when we talk about LaMelo Ball before LaMelo Ball even got drafted. We talk about just business and how to sell jerseys, how to sell tickets, who comes to the game. So let's be clear. Everybody can sit here and say, oh yeah, Caitlin Clark, this and that. She have a bunch of white people come to the game. She don't be having celebrities come to the game. Celebrities be at, nigga, Michelle Obama was at Angel Reese game. It's a huge difference, dog. From just having a bunch of random white people and having A-list celebrities at your game, dog. It's a thing. And we can't make, no.
You have every night, though.
They've been there every night she played.
And so has the Indiana fans.
Who? Pat McAfee?
No, what you're saying, I hear what you're trying to say because you have celebrities, but when the long term comes next year, 2 years from now, are they still going to be there at them games? That's what I'm saying.
But this is when you can't be stupid because nigga, when we talk about rap music, we talk about how many Chicago rappers they live there, they from there, they gonna go to them games all the time.
I don't know if they be at the games all because they don't be at the Chicago Bull games. So I don't think that's what I'm saying. It's a trendy thing right now. Yes, but let's just say, okay, next year are they still going to support it? Next year are they? The year after that, I get what you're saying. Yes, that's the thing. But next year, is it still going to get the same support?
The sport going to continue to grow. She's not going to get unpopular,
and that's what we want that to. But before you saying because there's celebrities there, but look at the Lakers game. There's celebrities there every day.
Yeah, that's important. You think they don't think it's important? They did because they would have a thing called Celebrity Row if it wasn't important.
That's important for what? Just to them to sell the tickets, but winning championships and all they don't.
How about Marcus? You think? Let's be real. Do you sit here and think if you own the team, would you care more about winning the championship or getting your bills paid?
Championship, you get the extra money for the championships.
It ain't extra money as you getting to tax them ticket. And that's why even the crazy thing is, let me tell you how misleading. Let me tell you how misleading the media is. They'll sit here and be like, "Oh, the Fever versus the Sparks had 1,000 more people than any Lakers game last year." But I guess what the ticket prices wasn't the same as you about to tell me that they made the same amount of money for that Sparks as a Lakers game. Hell no. So stop trying to. But that's what I'm telling you. I pay attention. I'm watching how they trying to lead this up and make it seem though that ain't what it is. Show me the difference on the ticket prices. Yeah, you can have more people if the tickets are way cheaper. Because yeah, if it cost me, we talked about it with the LeBron James. We told it was $40,000 a ticket. What are you talking about, dog? Ain't nobody's paying $40,000 to go see no goddamn Indiana Fever, nothing. Like, let's stop, dog. That's what I'm sitting here saying. Like, sometimes we got to realistically use our own common sense because I understand we all been brainwashed to be like, oh, whatever white media say, whatever I hear on ESPN, that's law. It ain't for me, dog. I got my own brain. My brain to kind of beat this own drum my entire life. That's just who I am as just a human being. My brain ain't to sit here and say, oh, whatever master say, that's what it's going to be. Nah, it's not like that for me, dog. I'm sorry. My brain know how to work. I know the difference between sitting here saying how I make stuff look delulu and sit here and sell you a product. It's not working, homie. And ain't nobody sitting here telling me if y'all played sports before, you would not be okay with getting took out in the fourth quarter because you can't play defense. The last couple of minutes, you got to get sit out on the because you're getting cooked and you dog food. Like, what? I told y'all this before it happened. And guess what? I love to be the same way. I guess what I told y'all. Told y'all that about Justin Herbert. Guess what? Did not happen. And Marcus was ready to argue. The beginning, that's why I always say the best thing I save my comments for on wax, so you can always go back and listen to them. And I apologize. I know I'm talking fast. I told y'all last year, Justin Herbert was dog shit. Guess what happened? They started off 0-3. They didn't make the playoffs. I leave it alone because I know what I said. And y'all just got to live with what I told you on wax. But if you watch ESPN, this nigga at the beginning of the season, Justin Herbert was like the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. That's what they told you. They told you the same thing about what's my man down in Jacksonville. Bro, I'm repeating this one thing about me. I'm going to be the shit that I'm going to stand on. I'm going to stand firm on it. And I'm going to be more on the right side of history than the wrong side of history. I'm sorry, dog. It's just not going to happen, homie. I only dated black women. I literally only out of my entire life only dated one woman that wasn't black. She was an agent from Atlanta and she just sounded like she was black. So and she just was built like a black woman. So, all right, cool. If that's going to be an L on my jacket, that is what it is. But that's it for me, homie. I like black women. I'm going to defend black women. That's just how I'm going to give it up. I ain't even get into the goddamn clips because y'all just kind of y'all wild, though, and weird.